Hello, welcome to Tutors of Life podcast, where we research life so you don't have to. Episode 192. This is your host, Shaun Tutor.
And this is Sam. And this is a talk episode where the tutors talk.
What do you got for me?
I had something and then I forgot. If you're watching our YouTube, see a drink, take a drink.
Beautiful.
There you go.
I'm going to run out of water soon.
Well, you brought your jug.
Yep.
I mean, this is probably going to be a short podcast, guys. Sorry, not sorry.
It's late Thursday night, per usual.
Yep.
Right on time.
Yeah. What did we do Tuesday that we couldn't do this? Whiskeria.
Let's go.
Yep. That's right. There was something I wanted to bring up on today's podcast, and I completely forgot what it was.
Kyle and I went down, checked out a truck today.
Mm-hmm.
Kid was a fucking compulsive liar. Just all up and down. We get there, looking at the truck, and we're like, at first eye, it looked like a good truck, looked in good shape, but it was dirty. And so right away, I'm like, why the hell is he showing this truck so dirty? Like, I never show vehicles dirty unless I'm trying to hide something.
Right.
So I'm like, what's this guy trying to hide on us? And we're looking around, and Kyle's like, oh, looks like there's been some body work on this side done. So we take a peek, and you can see where the doors aren't lined up perfectly, and you can see some of the body lines are off. And then you can see on the pillar what looks like very shitty mud work. And it's like, man, this dude did not do a good job. And we're like, okay, well, it's just this one pillar and like these two doors. Whatever, not the end of the world. And so we take it for a ride, and it rides pretty good. But we couldn't pick up a radio station.
Oh, weird.
And I'm like, Kyle's like, oh, we must just be in bumfuck nowhere. And I'm like, possibly, because we just listened to a podcast the whole way. I'm like, can't pick up a radio station. I've never not picked up a radio station.
Yeah.
Like, not even like a shitty one.
Right.
That's a little weird. But truck drove good. Interior was nice, except for one thing, the center console was broken. But besides that, like, the interior was nice. It rode nice. I'm like, backup camera work, all that shit. So we get back, and we're looking at it for our uncle. And so we call him on the drive. We're like, yo, you get Carfax. This thing's had some body works done. So he pulls the Carfax. We get back, and we're looking at it some more, and we're like, those two panels, this truck's in too good a shape to pass up. Like, we should just buy this thing. And as the dude goes to grab the spare tire, because the spare tire wasn't underneath it, and we're like, why would you not have the spare tire underneath it? How weird. So as he goes to get the spare tire, Uncle Paul calls us back, and he is like, oh, check the left side. Says it was an accident. Wasn't an accident, hit from the left side. So we look at the left side, and then all of a sudden we're like, oh my gosh. Like, once we saw that on the left side, we're like, wait a second. There's damage on the right side, and now there's damage on the left side. And we didn't even look at the left side because the body panels, when they installed them, they did a pretty good job putting them back on. So, like, at first glance, looking over everything, we didn't see them.
Right.
But then we saw the one ding. And we're like, wait, so there's a ding there. And then we started looking, like, close, like looking a foot away at the whole truck. Every panel had damage and had, like, shitty work done to it. And we're looking at the whole thing. And I'm like, yep, nope. Tell Paul we're fucking, no, we're walking. We're not buying this thing. Every fucking thing, every panel's bad. And we're asking the guy, we're like, dude, what's up with this? Like, do you have any, like, what is going on with this? And he's like, I don't know, man. Like, that's how I bought it. I mean, I saw that stuff, but I didn't think nothing of it. It's just a good driving truck, man. I've been all over the U.S. in this thing, traveling. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? And I'm like, all right, well, I don't know, dude. There's just too much shit. We're going to have to pass. But so I asked the kid, I'm like, what do you do for work? He's like, oh, I'm a business advisor. He's like, I travel all around. He's like, it's a dream job. It's like I'm on vacation all the time. And I'm like, you're 19.
Yeah.
Business advisor? And I was like, okay, let's get the fuck out of here. So we get out of there. And Kyle and I are like, that shit just wasn't right. Something wasn't right. About an hour down the road, Paul sends us a message. He found through like the Carfax and stuff, and then he went and looked at like the auction slip. That kid bought it from an auction last year. He's the one that did all the shoddy work on it and is trying to sell it and make a buck. And dude, Kyle and I were just like, what a fucking liar.
Right.
The number one problem is, had Kyle not seen that first body shit, and had we not called Paul, because the truck was like dusty,
yeah, you wouldn't have noticed.
You wouldn't have noticed.
Yeah.
And so we would have just taken, the normal person just looking at this vehicle, not looking deep, would have been like, runs nice, drives nice, whatever, let's go. But thank God Kyle saw the body lines were off, and then we called Paul, and he got back to us before we did anything, because we were like, dude, holy shit, did we just dodge a massive bullet.
Yeah, that's extreme.
Yeah, oh, big time. Because you would have had to have the whole truck redone. But the crazy thing is, with that truck, the underneath was beautiful. There was like there's no rust on the underneath. Like the frame was like rust free.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and so because we were looking at it, I'm like, fuck, Kyle's like, this thing drives good. The frame's rust free. Like that one panel over there, the pillar and the two doors, like, dude, we just gotta live with it. Like, this thing's this thing's solid. And then we got out and we saw that. We're like, oh my God.
Yeah, because you wouldn't know if there's any like frame damage or anything unless if you put it up on a hoist, right?
It's even then, like, you'd have to like look for it and find it.
Yeah.
Because you can have a little bit of a bent frame and not know.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, a little bit. It might just drive a little weird and shit. But anyways, what I'm getting at, how crucial it is for the normal person to pull Carfax. Always. Because I didn't know this, but Kyle told me if a dealer buys it, a dealer goes and buys a salvage title.
Yeah.
And a dealer can fix it and have it re-inspected and get the salvage removed. And so the salvage will only show up. So, like, if you buy it in Minnesota. So, okay, let me rephrase this. You buy it in Minnesota, and you have a dealership in Wisconsin, and you come over, you get it all fixed here, get it re-inspected. All it says on the title is previously titled in Minnesota. And so the only way you know if that title's branded is if you get the Carfax. And so I don't know if that kid had a dealership or how he managed to get around that, or like, you know, if he had somebody at a dealership sign off on it or whatever.
Do you get his name?
His name's Peter.
You don't remember his last name?
No.
You can get his last name. Oh. I was gonna say we could try Facebook stalking him.
Oh. Yeah. Well, I got his phone number and shit, but it's whatever. Karma will catch back up with that kid. But yeah, so crucial to spend the $20 for Carfax for the normal, like, dude, for anybody.
Yeah.
You don't know. Paul said he ran into this at another truck he looked at. He was up looking at a truck and he saw a couple of dings. He's like, a couple dings, that's a little weird. And he was looking at the tires and he's like, something's weird with the tires. And the kid said in the post that he just replaced brakes like a week ahead of time. Paul's like, did you paint these tires? Why do they look weird? The guy's like, I don't know, tires have never been off. I've never taken the tires off. And he's like, what? And so he just left. Looked up Carfax. Sure enough, salvage title, same situation. Guy got a clean title and all that. I'm like, dude, this world is fucking rough out. Like, this game is rough now.
Yeah.
It was not like this when I was buying and selling cars 8 years ago.
No.
And shit, you know, so.
It makes you almost like want to, like, I know some dealerships aren't the greatest, but it makes you almost trust dealerships a little bit more than private party right now.
Yeah, which sucks because you don't dealers. The typical dealer scams the literal shit out of you.
Mm-hmm. There's some good ones. I mean,
yeah, there is.
Like the guy you've bought
that dude's a stud.
2-3 vehicles from now.
When he's honest.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I like about him. I go over there. I say, hey, what's the word on this shit? Hey, do we just buy these things from auctions or we get them in? They're banged up. They got a clean title, but we just fucking fix them up, fix the damage, the rust, whatever, and we pass it on. That's why we can sell it at below KBB. And I'm like,
and most of them
sick.
are from the south too, aren't they?
Yeah, well, they do a lot of their auctions and throughout the area. So yeah, like they'll get rust-free shit in and stuff, and he's just honest about it. He's like, that's why it's priced below KBB. We get fucked up shit and we fix it. And I'm like, that's fair enough, dude. So about a few things from them, good guys.
Yeah.
But I like the honesty.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you tell me straight, and then I'm like, okay, cool, thank you. That's fine.
Yeah.
And that's their model. Like, that's how they roll, and that's cool.
Yeah.
The only thing with those guys is because they do that, they don't buy the higher end stuff. So they don't really have anything on their lot over like 15 grand.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like, man, because I talked to him, I'm like, hey, I'm looking for like a nicer Honda Civic, like a Honda Civic hatchback, 2012 or newer 4Runner, or like a newer, nicer pickup. And they're just like,
no, we don't get this.
They're like, they have my number. They're like, if we ever come across it, we'll let you know, but that's not our market. I'm like, shit, dude. Because I like buying from them. Yeah. Good guys.
And they've expanded that little shop.
Hell
fast.
Yeah, dude. They're ripping.
Yeah, I'm proud of them.
Yeah, they're studs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I think that's where Trixie and Kenra bought their new car, too.
Yeah, it is. Yep. So, yeah, good guys. But, yeah, it's... I know Kia has some pretty cool shit. Yeah. I'm not sure how much you have to pay for those warranties.
Yeah.
Or if they just like come part of the
but we've always looked at cars there, and like they've always been so much more fair price than anywhere else.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah, like you go to some of these places like the Chevys, the Fords, the Toyotas.
Yeah.
They are so expensive. It's just the Ram. Ram is the most expensive by far. Mm-hmm. Some of the shit they do, I'm like, how are you even charging these prices? Mm-hmm. That's just the dealerships around Eau Claire, I've noticed.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think it'd be, I think like if I were to go dealership, I'd probably go Kia.
Yeah.
For a nicer vehicle. Mm-hmm. And not buy a Kia, guys, but like the Kia dealership gets traded.
I know. Kia Tellurides look so badass. Actually, they are. We rode in one.
Yeah, they're very badass.
Oh, they're so cool. And I just love that yellow color. Love it. Anyways. So today at work we were talking about books. Like always. Mm-hmm. Megan has never read the Harry Potter series.
Rookie.
And she's like a fanatic. She read the ACOTAR, A Court of Thorns and Roses, if you guys don't know. She read, so there's 5 books. Read that in like a week. She just sits and reads. And I'm like, girl, read the Harry Potter books. Mm-hmm. She said she's like, you and her are very similar, where she likes to watch things before reading them because she can't like visualize. Mm-hmm. So she's like, it's so nice when I like watch a movie and then read the book afterwards, because then like she said when she doesn't get mad then when there's like other details in the book, because it just like heightens like what she pictures. Yeah. And so she was telling me that, and she's like, so I love the movies, I've watched them like a million times, and I was like, girl, read the freaking books. I was like, you will appreciate the series so much more.
That's what I noticed with like Harry Potter. I watched the movies before I read the books, so I loved them. And then
The Witcher.
I watched The Witcher, read the books, so I loved them. Mm-hmm. But then, or for the first season. Yeah. But the second season of The Witcher, I had read that book before that season came out, and I was pissed. Because I'm like, you guys are already starting. I saw similarities. Yeah. So I wasn't like too mad. I was like, man, okay, they went a little off track, but they didn't, like, they still kind of kept the storyline, so I wasn't too pissed. I think I'm going to be pretty pissed at the third season we're going to see.
Yeah.
But what pissed me off more than like the two things that pissed me off so much. Jack Carr series on Amazon.
Yeah.
What the Terminalist.
Terminalist.
Guys, read The Terminalist. It's so freaking good.
Mm-hmm.
The book is phenomenal. All the books by Jack Carr are phenomenal.
And the newest one is coming out soon.
Yeah. That series pissed me off so damn much on Amazon.
Yeah.
Because, dude, they didn't even, like...
You were saying, like, they didn't even try to follow the book.
They didn't even try to follow the book. And for once in my life, I visualize shit. For that book, I, like, actually was able to picture the people and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, the character choices they had, horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Horrible, horrible, horrible. They didn't even try.
Well, because, is that the author's name, Jack Carr?
Yeah.
Okay. Because he said when he wrote it, he visualized, Chris Pratt.
Pratt playing it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, that ain't who I was picturing at all.
Interesting.
Yeah, not even for a second. The role and the mannerisms of Chris Pratt did not match the book.
Mm-hmm.
James Reese did not match James Reese's mannerisms and shit like that in the book. And so, because the way he played it was, he was like serious all the time and an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
Is how Chris Pratt played it. So he was like an asshole going crazy. For whatever reason, they decided to have that as that role. In the book, he was nothing like that at all. And in the book, he was like charismatic.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And he was like really kind. He was serious, but kind and charismatic and all that shit. And so seeing how that was played out and like the mannerisms and the personality, I didn't think it matched at all. So I'm not looking forward to the second season. And then what?
Keep going.
Why?
I was just confused why you are like holding your mic like you have to.
Because this fucking thing keeps scooting up on me. It's pissing me off. Anyways, and then Jordan Robert, The Wheel of Time.
Yeah, you hated that too.
I read The Wheel of Time and I visualized that the people in that book the way I visualized it. And it was fine. Then the movie came out. And I was like, that's who you casted? So I was like, okay. They did not even try. They didn't even try to follow the storyline. Mm-hmm. They just went full R-word.
Right. Like, because you said like a lot of the events happened, just not in the order that...
Not in the order and nowhere even near like the way it happened. Like shit was happening that never happened. I'm like, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
Why are you doing these things? And it's just dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Just dumb. So, anyways, one of the like best parts of the book is like early on.
Mm-hmm.
And him and his dad have to like fight off a bunch of these fucking things. They're like warlocks or some shit. I can't think of like what they're called the second. But they have to fight them off at their cabin.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to work their way all the way back to town. It takes them all night and into the morning to like, he has to drag his dad who's dying because he got like stabbed or some shit through the woods all day long to get up to the town, the village, and they have to like pass all these like warlocks and shit and like these people like out there trying to find him to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
And so like this is a huge fucking part in the book where these dudes, the dad and the son, have to fight all these fucking things alone, and then the dad gets all fucked up, so the son's got to drag his ass all the way into town all night long into the next morning. And it's not in the book.
In the movie?
In the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, dude, that's a big fucking role. That's a that's a big like grabber, you know. That was the first part of the book where I was like, because there's a 1,100-page book or whatever.
Yeah.
That is like the first part of the book that grabbed me and made me pound through 50 pages. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like those parts of the book made me like fuck boom pound, and they took those like major things
and just threw them out the window.
I'm like, dude.
Yeah, that's
dude. Anyways, sorry for going on that, but so what I figured out, if I watch the series first and then read the books, I love the books. Mm-hmm. If I watch the books, if I read the books and watch the series, I hate the series.
You will, no matter what, you would hate the Bridgerton series.
I will not read that.
I think we've talked about it before on here. The first book was pretty close to the TV show. The second season, nowhere even near the book.
And I don't know why they do that with some.
So, you know, on, like, the TV show, like, this younger sister was, like, a huge part. Like,
yeah.
Anthony was, just, like, in love with the younger sister and, like...
He wasn't in love with the younger sister, but he was
courting her, yeah. And, like, it was at their wedding that this younger sister realized, like, that the older sister was in love with him and that she couldn't marry him.
Right.
He, like, just talked to her a couple of times in the book, the younger sister. And then they got forced to get married because he was caught sucking a bee sting, which happened to be on her breast. And so their parents caught it, and then Lady Featherington, who's the biggest gossip, saw him try to suck this bee sting out and told them that they had to get married.
The Anthony and the older sister.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they were happy, though, to get married. No.
Not at first. Okay. But so then more of the book is, like, about, like, them realizing that they do love each other and, like,
sure,
what life is like after getting married or whatever. And it's just, like, the series literally ended with the TV show did not show their wedding. And then she was just pregnant.
Right. Yep.
And you're just like, what just happened? Yeah.
But then again, since I've watched the series first and I read the books, then I might appreciate the books. I'll like the books then.
But I'm saying, like, we watched the second season before I read that book. And
right.
Reading that book afterwards, like, just made me so mad that they fucked up the season so bad. I was just like, this season wasn't anything. Like, I like the book a lot more.
Yeah.
Because the book story makes way more sense than the TV show did. Series, whatever.
Here's what I think's going on.
That's cute.
She's dead.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
I think too many people, or like, I think Hollywood, I don't think a lot of people are reading nowadays.
Yeah, okay. So they just think they can do whatever.
So they're just like, we're going to Hollywood this shit and make fucking, and like make it how we want to make it, and people are going to love it and all that stuff. Oh, my auntie, we've got such a cute doggo. Yeah. But so anyways, they say like Hollywood makes these things and they just butcher it. And the only thing I can come up with is like, one, somehow the screenwriters think they can do a better job than the author.
Yeah.
And they're wrong. Or they don't think people are reading, and a lot of people probably aren't reading.
Yeah. Yeah, because I haven't heard that many people complain about The Witcher not being right or Bridgerton being right.
And it's because I don't think they read.
Yeah. But it's weird because remember my brother read Wheel of Time, or my brother's husband read Wheel of Time, and he's like, I love the TV series. And you were just like, it wasn't anything like the book, though.
Yeah, I couldn't.
So I don't know if people just, like, don't care or if they're not reading it. I don't know.
I don't know, dude.
But also, think about this with the Bridgerton series. They got people hooked onto that with the first season. Because there was nudity. There was lots of sex.
They do that in...
There was nothing in the second season.
They do that. They did that in The Witcher.
Yeah, they did.
They did that in Peaky Blinders.
Oh, yeah.
They did it in Game of Thrones.
Yep.
They did it in Shameless. There was still nudity throughout, but most of the nudity was the first two seasons.
Yeah,
like
you're
a
right.
copious amount.
I hate that show.
Yeah, is whatever. But dude, that's something that really pissed me off about the second season of The Witcher. Is like The Witcher is very lewd. That's just the book. It's very lewd. There's like a lot of shit going on. There's so much fighting, so much sex. It's just how it is. Very fucking passionate type of book. So then you come to the film. The first one was just like it. You had all that nudity. You had all that fighting. You had all the gore. You had all that, right? And it was phenomenal. It was beautiful. The second book and the second film, I was waiting for those fucking crazy battle scenes. I was waiting for there's like hot tub scenes and like all sorts of like crazy sex orgy shit. None of it happened.
Yeah, no.
And when they did have the hot tub scene, not a single piece of nudity. And I'm just like, guys, it literally describes the nudity in the book. Like, it describes it.
Bridgerton's smut.
Dude, it's not even safe how some of this shit is.
Like, it makes no sense, because Bridgerton is literally labeled smut. So it is, like, very sexual.
Yeah.
And there was the one where they were in the garden, which doesn't even happen in the book. Dumb. That's the...
Did you even see nudity, though, in the garden?
No. You didn't see anything.
Dude, that's that shit that, like... Yeah, that shit pisses me off. Dude, show the nudity.
Yeah.
Like, that's part of the story. That's part of the shit. I don't know.
And it's not even, like, sexualizing it at all. It's about, like, just following the story and the theme of the thing. Like, that's what worries me about I think they're going to make A Court of Thorns and Roses in movies.
Yeah, it's going to be horrible.
And it worries me so much because that book, very, very descriptive sex scenes, and they're very hot and heavy, and I'm sure they're just going to get cut out.
I just don't like Hollywood taking this stuff and butchering the shit out of all of it. Harry Potter wasn't the best because they couldn't fit that amount of shit in a movie.
Right.
But they didn't cut the storyline.
Yeah.
The storyline was not fucked with. The characters were not really fucked with. Some they talked about more than others. But like Ginny had a way bigger role in the books than she did in the films. But they didn't fuck with the like timeline of things, the storyline, the plot.
Yeah.
Sure, they had to take out a bunch of stuff, and if they would have put it in a series, it would have been a beautiful thing. But now Hollywood's just like, we're gonna Hollywood this, and we're gonna make our own plot.
Yeah.
No, don't do it. You're not better than the writer. There's a reason you aren't an author, because you're not as good as them. Don't do it.
That's why like people are trying to get J.K. Rowling to not be a part of the Harry Potter series, because they're gonna do a TV series of it now. They're trying to. All these woke cancel culture people are trying to get her kicked off of it. And it's just like, it's going to be shitty as fuck if you don't have her a part of it.
That shit'll tank.
100%. And then it was just like a waste of time. And then we're going to have to wait another 15, 20 years until the rights retire again for someone to fucking do a better job. And by then, who knows if she'll still be around.
Right. Yeah, it is very crucial that she plays a big role in this and that she holds everybody accountable. And I think she's one of the few that will.
Yeah.
Because she's very straight up with what she believes.
Yeah. The one thing that, like, always made me, like, so sad about TV shows that you don't get from TV shows like you do books. One of the books, and I can't remember if it's the fifth or the sixth one, you can tell Harry's going through puberty because he thinks of because you can read his thoughts in the book, and so it's really sad that you don't really see it as much in the TV or in the movies. Yeah, they do a little bit with like Ron making out with what's her name, and like Hermione getting more emotional, and like Harry being kind of weird with Ginny, right? But just, like, some of the thoughts he has in the book, like, it's so funny to read.
That's so true.
Uh-huh.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that was fucking 30 minutes of TV talk.
TV and books, yeah. Which book are you reading right now, Shaun?
Sherlock Holmes.
I bet you like that too because you can picture Sherlock, can't you?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Because some of those stories are from the TV show too.
Ah, do you know who I picture?
I'm trying to think of you, Robert Downey Jr., don't you? Is it Benedict?
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Good.
And who's the other dude?
I always forget his name.
No, actually, oddly enough, I picture Benedict Cumberbatch, and I picture the
Watson from
Robert Downey Jr.
He is more of a Watson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the combo I picture.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you say Cumberpatch or Cumberbatch?
I don't know, whatever it is.
Okay.
What is it?
Cumberbatch?
Is it?
Batch.
I call it Patch. Cumberpatch.
No, Cumberbatch.
Yeah, whatever. You know who I'm talking about when I say it.
That's true.
But so that's how I picture it. So I always picture him and then the other guys.
Who, thinking back a long time ago when I got you to start reading, which was the Ugly series, do you like have a picture of like an idea of mine of who would play what's Tally Youngblood? Was that her? Was that series?
Yeah, and she's not Asian. Is that what you're talking about?
Oh no. Wait, did they pick someone that's Asian to play her?
Yeah, because the book's in Singapore. The book is the whole thing. We find out partway through the book, you find out that it's based in Asia, around Singapore area.
Huh.
And I was reading that and I found that and I was just like, in my mind, I was like, wait a second. Have I been picturing the wrong type of people? So I had someone pictured for the Tally Youngblood or whatever, and it is not what it ended up being.
It has been so, like, it's probably been 10 years since I read those.
It's such a good book.
I didn't even catch that. How do you remember that?
I don't know.
Okay, cool.
I want to read those again. Does
I know.
Brooke still have them?
Yeah, she does.
Of course she does. Has she read them?
Yeah, she read all of them but the fourth one, which the fourth one is hard to get into.
Sucks.
Yeah. But I think her neighbor's reading them right now or something.
We're never getting them back.
No, we are. Because she's not letting her neighbor take them off her premises.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yep. Yeah, I think Brooke has like 8 of our books. Because she has all of our Marie Kondo books. She has The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck and then the Ugly series.
I would read the Ugly series again.
Yeah, so would I.
I like that a lot. They're coming out, though. They're supposed to have one coming out.
A TV show?
Yeah. You've seen that, right?
Yeah, look it up.
But so the main lead is, she is Asian, the main lead. Which makes sense because it's based out of Asia.
Uglies. Oh, book series. I'm reading The Selection, which has been really, really interesting because it, I feel like it could be our future very, very easily.
Oh, dude, for sure.
I mean, she's not that Asian.
Let's see.
Is she? I don't think she's Asian.
No, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Wait, that's who's playing her?
Yeah.
No. They've switched the cast.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. This is just gonna be a book podcast. I don't care. So The Selection is about like they go briefly into the history of this new country's past or whatever, and it was the USA, and then they got in a war with China, so then they became the United States of China, and then Russia wanted to invade as well, so then it was something, and then the people were all of North America didn't want Russia or China near them, so Canada and Mexico banded with the American citizens to defeat China and Russia out of the country. And so they decided, the leader of the people was Gregory Ilya, which he named the country after himself, because it's now Ilya. And he decided to make it a monarchy again, and because he wanted to make sure that the power stayed in his family, because he was very greedy. And like he even sold his daughter off to some other countries king so they could have peaceful whatever. Like, that's how greedy he was. He was just like, daughter, you're gonna go marry this guy. And so I think actually the funny thing was his son was so upset by what his father did that he like killed himself. So then it ended up going to like their cousins.
I guess I kind of did picture a chick like this for Tally Youngblood.
Oh yeah.
Maybe I was way off, but I was thinking who they had. Shay was Tally Youngblood. Maybe I looked at the picture wrong originally.
Maybe.
Because yeah, when I saw who's Shay, when I saw that, I was like, dude, that don't make sense for her. I didn't like. Yeah. But yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense.
Wait, did you see what it?
That's a new cast. It's a new. That's why I'm wondering if it's a new cast because he was not a part of it.
Yeah, I bet you because they've taken a really long time to like actually start this.
Years. But they wrapped up filming. They said.
Oh, did it? Oh, so anyway, so this book is about like, the current prince trying to find his new princess, and like the whole country's in a caste system. So, the royalty is ones, and it goes all the way down to like the homeless are eights, and so whatever caste you're in is limits you to what jobs you can get or what school you can go to and all this shit. And I was just like, man, I don't think this book is too far off of what's gonna happen.
That's very much like two films that are similar to each other: The Hunger Games and Divergent.
Oh yeah,
series.
Yeah,
just like that.
Yeah, but Divergent
factions.
You can choose to switch your faction though in Divergent.
Yes, you can.
So in this one, you can't. You can marry. So, the woman moves to whatever caste the husband's in. So it doesn't matter for guys if they marry down, but all women try to marry up.
Damn.
Yeah. And it's very weird too, like about how like some of their jobs are set up. So the main girl is a 5, and they can only be like artists or musicians or like something creative like that.
Great, yeah, because that's not something you're born with.
Right. Well, and it's fine for them because a lot of times like that creativity does run in families, so it's normally fine. But like the main girl, her younger brother would rather play sports than do any creative thing. So like she's trying to think of like ways to like get her little brother out of that caste system because he's forever going to be in that caste because he's a male.
Right.
So.
Yeah, could be possible. Did you see CNN let Trump on?
Yeah. And it like didn't go well for them.
Did not go well for them.
Yeah, they like tried to like discredit him and make him seem like a criminal, and like he was just like, dude, I just saw this clip because the lady asked him, why did you wait 2 to 3 hours after they invaded the Capitol, after they smashed windows and harassed the police, to tell them to be peaceful? And he's like, well, actually, and he like opens his jacket, pulls out a printed copy of his tweets from J6. And so he like stated, he's like, if you see here on January 5th, I said to like how much I appreciate all of our security and police officers that guard our Capitol, and to the people to remain peaceful. And he's like, and then on, did I say January 5th? Yeah. He's like, and then you'll see on January 6th at 2:30 p.m., which is like while they were doing it, or like right when they started, I said to remain peaceful and to go home and not to hurt anyone. And he's like, but Twitter took my post down.
Damn.
And he's like, we didn't know about that till later. And he's like, because, you know, I got deactivated on Twitter. And he's like, I just got it back now, but now I'm on
Rumble.
No, there's a different one.
Truth Social.
Yeah. He's like, now I'm on Truth, so I don't know if I'm going to go back to Twitter. He's like, Truth is where it's at. And the crowd just starts cheering for him. It just shuts that reporter down. So good.
Well, I like the reporter's like, who do you want to win the war, Russia or Ukraine? And he's like, I don't look at it as who's I want to win. He's like, I look at it as let's stop the death. And the reporter's like, no, that's not my question. Who do you want to see to win, Russia or Ukraine? And he's like, neither. I want the war to stop. I want the death to stop. There does not have to be a winner. And I was like, wow, that definitely is not going the way they wanted it to go.
Yeah. Well, and he tried or they tried bringing up the suit that he just lost or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like, cause she tries like accusing him of like sexual assaulting this woman, and he's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. He's like, let's go through these details, and like, did you hear this at all?
No, I didn't see that one.
Oh my gosh. Apparently this woman who's now in like her 80s, so this was when she was like in her 60s. Sure. She claimed that they were at some place, some like store at the same time, and when they just saw each other, they were just so infatuated with each other. And he's like, I've only ever been at the store when I have some benefits because I do donate or something. And he's like, and she claims that we just hit it off right away, and there was a dressing room right next to the entrance, and she went in there and there just happened to be an unlocked dressing room, and we went in together and whatever. And he's just like, what crazy 60-year-old woman is going into a dressing room to play hanky-panky? He's just like, that is just the most immature thing, or something like that.
Dude, and you gotta think about it like this. The frequency he's operating at, a man like that is not wasting time playing hanky-panky.
Yeah.
That motherfucker's got hanky-panky scheduled with his wife later.
Mm-hmm.
He's not, dude, if he's out signing at some sort of press conference, doing anything like that, a benefit, he is not wasting his time trying to hook up. He ain't even thinking about that shit. His mind's on business.
Right.
Dude, these guys operating at that level, that frequency, are not even thinking about fucking during the day.
Hell no.
Like,
and not with some rando.
No, hell no. Dude, they are operating at way too high of a level to be worrying about that.
Yeah, even doing, like, during the court case, like, he, like, stated, too. He's just like, I am not attracted to this woman. And he's just like, I'm not attracted to you.
Right.
And like to some, I don't know. He's like, no offense, but I'm like, you're not attractive to me. So why would I sexually assault someone that I'm not attracted to? And
well,
like,
not even that. Like, so you think about that. These people accusing him of that. Why a multi-billionaire? He can get 20-year-old models.
Yeah.
For free.
Yeah.
Literally, 20-year-old models just to hang out at one of his mansions or on one of his yachts, go on his private jet, anything. He doesn't even have to pay these girls.
Yeah.
And he could be with 20-year-old models.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, don't tell me he's banging a 60-year-old fucking grandma in a dressing room.
100%.
Please. I don't... The average person does not understand high frequency. Mm-mm. Because most people operate at such a low frequency, they have no idea what it's like to truly be busy with your mind occupied.
Right.
And I'm not even like operating at a high frequency. I'm operating at like a very low medium frequency. Mm. But you look at some of these guys at a high frequency, the Ed Miletts, the Donald Trumps, the frickin' Andy Frisellas, Bradley, Wes Watson,
Grant Cardone,
thank you. Robert Kiyosaki. Dude, you think those guys, that their day-to-day, they're not thinking of hanky-panky with a rando. Mm-hmm. They're like work, business, like next level. Dude, that shit is very, very interesting.
Well, and we've even talked about how, like, you and I don't even have time to be depressed right now. Like, literally, we're just so go.
It's too busy to be depressed.
Yeah, fuck that. So it's the same thing. Like, you have too many things occupying your mind that you're not even going to be thinking about that.
Right. Especially at a benefit, dude.
Right.
You think Donald Trump gets a free minute away from people?
Yeah, no.
Dude, no.
I just saw this in the news while I was scrolling Twitter before you get home. This is my last thing. There's a high school in New York that's getting backlash right now because the girls' track team, or the high school track team that they have, the men practice shirtless.
Yeah.
And so the girls asked the athletic director if they could be in their sports bras. And the athletic director, who's a woman, said no. That because they have male coaches, it'd be too distracting for their male coaches. These are high schoolers. So, fucking coaches shouldn't be looking at them anyways. And so, they were told that if any of them tried to be shirtless at practice, that they would be asked to leave their practice. And the men were just politely asked to put their shirts back on, but could stay at practice. But the girls had to be escorted out. Instead of just asking politely if they could put their shirts back on, they were escorted out of their practice. And then they made a petition to be like, this is sexist that we can't practice in our sports bras, but the men can be shirtless. They made a petition and had some altercation with like the athletic director at some sports event the next day, and I don't remember how many of the girl track people, but I think at least 5 of them, or 5 or 15, got suspended because apparently they raised their voices and like swore at the athletic director about how unfair it was, and they were just like, no, she's lying about how we acted. And there's like, maybe we were loud because we were outside at a sporting event, so we wanted to make sure she could hear us. And now they got suspended. How crazy is that?
I think maybe we should get a little bit better quality and do a little more selection when it comes to coaching and teachers then.
Yeah.
Like, if you think about like at the like elite level of sports, think of like track athletes, swimmers. There's male coaches in that world, and you're talking of age females, and they're still able to coach them. Weightlifters, dude. CrossFit, gymnastics. Oh my God.
Volleyball.
Yeah, 100%. Dude, gymnastics at the age of fucking any age, all the way through high school, all that shit, dude.
Look at it at Olympic runners. They run in sports bras and fucking swimsuit bottoms.
Yeah. Dude, you need to do a better job selecting these coaches and shit. And you know what? It just goes into this. They need to have more shit in their day. They need to have like more shit going on. So these coaches or these teachers, whatever it is, maybe they need to be like, maybe they need a more workload, more demanding mental tasks, something so that these dudes aren't thinking or getting distracted from these chicks and they just have the fucking goal in mind.
But the issue, I think, is not the people for the most part. It's like the people higher up that are saying like, oh, the male coaches will get distracted. Well, did you ask the male coaches if it's okay?
Oh, that's a good point.
So it's the higher up saying that it's going to be the men getting distracted. And it's just like, no, they're fucking adult males that shouldn't be looking at underage women anyways.
Most likely a lot of them are like professional, like
very professional.
Yeah, there's a good chance a lot of them are very professional. And I think you'll get that a lot with like older coaches and teachers who have kids the similar age. Yeah. Of like high school,
or kids in general.
Yeah. Yeah, because they're not even in that. But where you get these issues, and I noticed this a lot with fucking like even in my school, you would get these issues where you had like student teachers come and student teach, and then they'd become like teachers, like or like we had like a 24-year-old home ec teacher. She was banging another teacher, and like all the fucking students, all the like jock dudes would go flirt with her and stuff, and she'd just like eat it all up. That's the shit that's the problem. Yeah. Like the 40-year-old coach, that's usually not an issue. Yeah. I mean, there's outliers. There's outliers for sure. But usually that's not the issue.
That's so true. Because, yeah, I mean, the principal that got, or the superintendent that got busted at Altoona.
Yeah.
I mean, he was fresh out of college when he started teaching there.
Right.
And, yeah, it was all these sophomore girls were hitting on him constantly.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, I'm sure senior girls and shit, too.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. But, yeah, never have I felt, like, sexualized by any coach, teacher, nothing.
Right.
And we did have some younger teachers, but they were professional because that's their fucking job.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
And so many of those people know that, like, school's a safe place for people.
Right.
So you don't want to tarnish a safe place.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds like some dumb political shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to see how it plays out. Yeah. I think it's a big high school, too.
Probably.
It was, like, Albany, New York.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, yeah. Just don't fucking sexualize people.
Right.
The U.S., more than any other country, sexualizes the human body.
Media.
Way too much. Do you say we do?
It's media.
Yeah.
It's always some media and shit.
That's, like, one thing other things that I've heard, like, from Europeans is, like, we're just like, oh, my God, like, they showed a nipple.
Right.
Like, and people freak out about it, and they're just like, yep.
And half of Europe's like, what's a bra?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have nude beaches and whatnot.
Uh-huh. Yeah, we're a little weird with that shit. And it's like it's at our detriment too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cool. All right, babe, let's wrap this shit up. It's late.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you on the next one.
See you.